Eastern Kentucky, where I was raised, where the wildlife and mountains call my name. I was born to hunt, I was born to guide, a camouflage on a rifle by my side. Just good old country boys chasing dreams in the Appalachian Mountains, a field of trees. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks that are on the run. Where those dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. The coyotes run all night. It's music to my ears and in my sights. I've got this hunting fever down in my bones. Glad my daddy taught me everything I know. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks that are on the run. Where dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks that are on the run. Where dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. The TLC Outfitters is our name.
Hey folks, happy Tuesday night. Welcome to On Air and Outdoors with TLC Outfitters. Hope you all having a good evening. As always, I'm Trinity. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I am flying solo tonight. Mr. Matt is away on a work trip, so he's not going to be able to join us tonight, but that's okay. Ain't got a whole lot to talk about. Like we said in our comments there, we're going to be talking about a few things deer hunting, and in the upcoming season, we got a lot to look forward to coming up. August is kind of that kickoff month with squirrel season coming in, and then just a few weeks from that, we've got deer season rolling in. So we'll talk about a few things, and we'll go from there. As always, we're joined by a few folks tonight. Our number one fan, my mama, keeping us in line, said we're running late. We are running late, so we're a few minutes behind. I apologize for that. Gator Paul celebrating a birthday this week, so happy birthday, Gator Paul, man. I hope it was a good one. Appreciate you tuning in. Our very own Cameron Hamilton says, howdy boys, hope you're doing good, Cameron. And man, we are looking forward to Hunt the 606 Expo coming up in Pikeville, and that is going to be on August the 24th. You need to check that out. That's posted on our page, Hunt the 606 Expo. If you're looking for a booth, they've got a few booth spots left, so you can be part of that. And you need to come on down. If you're not going to have a booth, you need to come down and see all of us there. TLC Outfitters will be set up there with a booth, so you can come down and join us. If you have not done so, please like and share this video feed. Get the word out there about all things on air and outdoors. Justin Tinsley from Tinsley Custom Wines said, working late, but listening to. Appreciate you so much, man. As Justin is still working on that coveted bull tag this year. Looking forward to that, man, and looking forward to following your hunt. So hope everybody's had a great week. It's been a couple weeks since we got on here, so we got a few things. Not a whole lot going on as far as over the past week. Matt and I have absolutely hammered the Kyle Woods, and in very unfamiliar fashion, we kind of got our butts handed to us the last couple of weeks. We've only got one harvest, and that brings us to the Bicknell Bunch brag board. If you're not done so, go over and check out the Bicknell Bunch Outdoors. Give them a like and a follow. So many great things, inspiring things coming from that page, and Jay Bicknell and his family and all of them that they do. So if you're looking for a place about faith, family, farming, and the outdoors, great place to go over and check it out. Brings us to the Bicknell Bunch brag board, and we got Matt coming in there a couple weekends ago with a single. And this dog, as you can see there, with another one of our fellow groups there from Global Decoys. You need to go over and check out all the decoys that they've got. You can see that coyote silhouette right there, the X24 with them MFK calls, and Matt putting the thump on a late evening coyote right there. I've got all the information on that. He can tell you right off, 20-some pound female, and being able to seal the deal on that. It's been all downhill since that from there for us. We've made several stands. We've been in the thick of them. We've been, I feel like we've kind of been in the ball game with them. We've got several hows. We're kind of in that rearing phase with those coyotes. Where they're kind of the pups or the adults have kind of, they've not abandoned the pups, but they've kind of left them. They're kind of, going around them, satelliting them a little bit, and they're bringing them food, dropping that off. But it's a good time to be hunting coyotes, but for whatever reason, seems like we've had a hard time the last couple of weekends, but that's okay. We'll get back after them. We've definitely hearing them. We're hearing pups. We're hearing adults. Just the setup has been tough. The wind has been really janky on us the last couple of weeks, but that's okay. We're going to stay after them. One thing about it, you can't kill them if you're on the couch, and we're definitely going to stay after them, as August is one of the best months for coyote hunting. A lot of folks don't know that. It's hot. It's hard to get out there in the heat to hunt after these things, but they are a lot of fun. Also, we got to go out with a new land spot that we got. We got to take the landowner and his son out. We appreciate them very much. Stuart and Tyler going out with us. As you can see there, Matt's got little man set up and ready to go, and working his magic with that X24, those MFK calls. Didn't get the one called in. We got so close this morning right here, but we love taking youth hunting, and appreciate all of our land owners. And 2 weekends ago, as you can see right there, is that's Case and Matt and myself. Big old 10-gallon pot of jambalaya as Matt works his magic. I'm telling you, folks, if you've not had some of Matt Woolwine's catering skills at one of your events, and he'd probably kill me for advertising this, but Matt loves to cook. I'm not necessarily sure he wants to do it all the time, but that jambalaya right there is unbelievable. And he has perfected that recipe down to a science, and people love it. So got to be part of that. You never know when you go to the Woolwine house what you're going to get into, and I love it, man. So, and little man right there enjoying it too. Great weekend right there, as we got to help some folks out. So let's see what we got going on here. My mama says, happy birthday, Gator Paul. May God bless you to see many more. Justin, who we going to pick on tonight? I know, man. Matt's not here. I don't know what to tell y'all. Gator Paul says, we've been working on them between the raindrops. Man, I tell you, we've been real dry to the last few days or whatever, and we finally got some much needed rain. Glad to see that. But man, that wind, prevailing wind here is west, south, southwest, northwest winds. We had some northeast winds, and then we had some straight east winds. I don't even know how that happens, but we had some winds out of the east, and it's kind of like Matt and I were talking about. Those winds are almost so light. You know, you're looking at 1, 2, 3 mile per hour winds that you didn't get that nice cone that you would look on a map where you can really predict the wind and what's going on with it. So that kind of left more of a bubble swirling back and forth. We'd be looking to set up for whatever it said, and then the next thing you know, it's hitting us in the back of the head. It's just hard, man. It is hard to get on them things when the wind is not right. So we look forward to getting back after them, and hopefully some better wins and some better setups. One of our hunters right here, Greg, says, how about the elk so ready to drop the hammer on one? We are too, man. Listen, the countdown is on. I mean, we're looking at August 1st right here in the face. And then the next thing you know, in a month and a half, we're going to be in the archery elk. And then we basically got a 4-week grind. So they're out there, man. We're watching them and scouting and doing a few things. Heavy duty scouting starts next month. So we'll keep you all posted. Look forward to having you, man. So, but as you all know, squirrel season is going to be coming on here. And the youth squirrel hunt will be happening the opening weekend. That's something that our good buddy Joe Bolton started many years ago. Joe has went on to hunting on high, and we miss him. But a lot of good folks keeping on the tradition. So that's going to be going on opening weekend of squirrel season. I believe the 17th and 18th. So. And I hope that I told everybody right on that. I don't have that wrote down, but I'm pretty sure that is the opening weekend of squirrel season. And we usually do 1 or 2 little hunts. We don't get out there and chase them like some of y'all do. But you can check that out. Dewey Lake Fishing Game Club. There's some flyers floating around there about it. It's a good thing to bring the kids and the family out to. That's the annual youth squirrel hunt camp out, and it happens right here at Dewey Lake. It'll be over there at the old community swimming pool here at Dewey Lake. And if you want more information on that, you can let us know, and we can send that to you. August 17th. That will be the beginning. Actually, they'll start at that Friday, the 16th. So Dewey Lake Fishing Game Club going to be at the old community swimming pool for the youth squirrel hunt camp out. Be sure to check that out. And then also that leads us right into, we get a couple of weeks of that. And then that'll lead us into archery deer season. And I know everybody, it's been a long wait. Some people live for it. Velvet season, Kentucky's one of the very few places where you can actually get a velvet buck, and that's going to, be September the 7th. Gator Paul says, do you have fox squirrels, and can you take them? We do have fox squirrels. Now, we don't have the protected ones like you got down there in your neck of the woods. I'm trying to think about what those are called. I forget the name of them off the top of my head. The ones that come in the different colors, but we do have red fox squirrels. So we have grays and reds, and you can take them. Sure can. If y'all have any questions, please let us know. We'll do our best to try to answer them tonight. Like I said, Matt's away tonight. Not going to be able to join us, flying solo. Not going to be a real long show, just going over a few things, see if anybody's got anything to talk about. We missed you all last week. We had some other things going on, so just wanted to hop on here and see how everybody was doing. How many of y'all plan on being out opening weekend of archery season for deer? Oh, and I also forgot about a season that's one of our favorite seasons, and that's dove season. Dove season usually comes in the first day of September, and we're always out there. Last year, we had one of our best dove hunts ever, and we didn't even take a gun out, so we went down and cooked for a bunch of hunters, breakfast and lunch. Had a great day. And that's opening day will be Sunday, September the 1st this year. So it's going to give hunters a little more opportunity to get out there and enjoy dove season on opening weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. We love dove season. How many of you all plan on being out opening weekend of deer season? Let us know. Drop us a comment. man, it's awful hot time for us. Unless you're really, for us, that's velvet season, and we look forward to that. But personally hunting, I mean, it's awful hot. Have to really have a big bruiser on camera as far as some personal hunting goes. But we like the velvet season and look forward to it. Like my mama says, it is too hot. We ain't big on it, that's for sure. So, but another date that's coming up, and I know everybody's been waiting for in a couple of days, is the curtilage law is going to end August the 1st. You can start baiting for deer and getting your bait sites put out. Now, up to this point, hopefully everybody's had their mineral sites up, and going. Hopefully you've had them going since the winter time. So it is legal to do that. But coming up here, August the 1st, you will be able to start putting out bait for deer, taking inventory, and things like that. So be a good time. And I know everybody's been waiting for that date to get out there and start seeing what is on the camera. We've already been seeing some good deer and some good bulls on camera. And I think it's going to be another good year. So thankful we got some rain. We did have a few cases that was looking like EHD because, as y'all know, when we have drought conditions, that brings about more EHD cases and everything. But we've got some much needed rain. So hopefully that kind of halted that some. Has anybody on here been seeing any reports of EHD in your area with the drought conditions that we've had? Drop us a line. We're not going to be on here too much longer. Just wanted to jump on and say hey to everybody. If you're waiting on a call from us for our elk hunters, we'll be calling. We've been very busy, been hard at it. So we appreciate everybody's patience. Hopefully everybody's getting ready for elk season, getting out there practicing and doing their conditioning, doing their walking, and hopefully getting excited. I think it's going to be a good year, and hopefully we can beat those harvest numbers from last year. Man, y'all ain't too talky tonight. So Justin says heading your way this weekend, man. Good. Hopefully get to see you this weekend. What else has everybody got going on? Talk to us here tonight. Like I said, we got Matt is not with us, so I need y'all to fill in the gaps here. We've talked a little bit about dates coming up. Hopefully all the elk hunters are doing all their homework as far as they're practicing, whether you're an archery hunter, whether you're a gun hunter. It's time to be pounding those targets and making sure you're doing all you can there. And, one tidbit of information that we try to tell everybody loves to shoot off of a bench or off of a seated position, where once you get your firearm, once you get your firearm ready, on a bench, you get it zero in where it was, get off that bench and start shooting off your shooting stick. Hopefully you got a good shooting stick, whatever that may be, and do some practicing on that. I also tell hunters to do you a few laps. It doesn't matter if it's archery or firearm. Do you a few laps, around your house. I don't know where you're shooting at or wherever you're at. Do you a few laps, do you some jumping jacks, whatever. Get your heart rate up and then shoot some, because that's going to be more of a real life scenario. And if you're shooting, off of shooting sticks, where you're shooting a crossbow or you're shooting a rifle, make sure you're practicing. Make sure you're practicing those longer distance off of a shooting stick. So Mike says, do you have any words of wisdom for those preparing for archery elk? Man, the biggest thing right now is to make sure your yardage as far as, whether you're shooting compound, whether you're shooting crossbow. Also, make sure whatever your hunting setup is going to be, you may be an expert archer and you may already know about your arrow setup. Hopefully you've already got, that arrow setup the way that you want it, with the weight. Sometimes all we think about in the archery world, especially in the world of compounds, is speed. Speed is not where it's at when you're talking about a big game animal like elk. Arrow weight, fixed blade broadheads. even down to what kind of fletchings you're shooting. Lighted nocks. Lighted nocks are a must. You hunt these animals in some of these areas, and you make a shot. It's real important that you can possibly find that arrow and put as much into finding that arrow as you can, because that arrow can tell you a lot. These animals are tough. We've seen these things take 3 shots from a 375 H&H and keep on trucking like they're not hit. So when you're talking about archery, you have to make sure you're putting as many odds in your favor as possible. So lighted nocks are huge. There's a fine balance between arrow weight, your pin gap, how you're doing. Everybody wants those pins as close together because they want a margin of error that's as small as possible. You really want to pay attention to your arrow weight, depending on your bow setup, the poundage you're drawing. Talk to your local archery shop. If you're not familiar with that, talk to your local archery shop. If you're a do-it-yourself guy, talk to your outfitter, and discuss, hey, how does this need to be set up? So that's a big thing, especially if you're shooting compound. And then you got another good one right here that says recommendations for broadhead. I can tell you right now, depending on everybody you talk to will give you a recommendation on broadhead. And there's a lot of good broadheads out there for elk. We stay away from mechanical broadheads. We don't like mechanical broadheads. Depending on who you talk to, they're going to tell you different things about mechanical versus fixed blade. We like fixed blades, but I'll tell you what I like better than fixed blade. And maybe I'm old school and maybe I'm outdated, but the Muzzy Trokar Hybrid has been one of my favorite broadheads that I have found to date for elk, for anything really. The Muzzy Trokar, not just a Muzzy Trokar, Muzzy Trokar Hybrid. And that Muzzy Trokar Hybrid is a 4-bladed broadhead. It has 2 fixed blades, and then it has 2 mechanical blades. But the way that the mechanical blades open, you lose very little kinetic energy. Also, if those blades, and it's almost impossible on that Muzzy Trokar Hybrid, it's almost impossible for those blades not to open. If they don't deploy completely, you still have a lethal 4 cutting edge blade that's going to be devastating to an elk. We have shot numerous elk with them, and it is a wound channel and a half. Muzzy Trokar Hybrid is one of my favorites. And like I said, there's a lot of great broadheads. There's a lot of broadheads out there that I'm not even familiar with. So, you want something that is a cut on contact, fixed blade, and also not just a fixed blade broadhead, but you want something that's going to hold up to a thick skin, thick haired, thick bone animal. If you're not shooting a quality broadhead, if you go out here and you buy something that's got paper thin blades or, a cheap broadhead, and you shoot that animal, even with a fixed blade, you cannot get the penetration. You could break blades. There's a whole lot. So a magnum caliber animal deserves a magnum effort. So I hope that helps. Like I said, number 1 on top of my list is the Muzzy Trokar Hybrid. My good buddy Jason Kendrick says we need to go bear hunting this year. I agree with you, man. We need to go. There's plenty of them, that's for, but they always seem to be plenty of them until season comes in. So we'll see what we can't do. We'll at least go out and have a good time and see what we can find. Good questions, man. Bring on your questions. As long as y'all are answering questions, I'll do my best to try to answer them. And as Matt says, if I don't know the answer, I'll make up the answer. That's not true, but that's what he says. Talking about prep for elk, not just archery elk, but it's the same thing as we're talking about broadheads, and we're talking about a quality broadhead for your archery setup. The same thing goes for your rifle setup. Everybody asks me all the time, what's the perfect rifle setup? Well, there's 2 things. The perfect rifle setup is a rifle that you are comfortable with, and that you are accurate with, and that you practice with. And then the next thing when it comes to elk is what ammo you're shooting. You want to make sure that you are shooting an animal or shooting an ammo that is designated for that thick skin, thick hair, thick boned animal. We hear things a lot like core lock or interlock or partition. All of those are great for deer, but even though they may bring an elk down, there's better ammo out there. Particularly talking about the bullet, you need something with a good ballistic coefficient, and there's a lot of good ammo on the market. And you want something that's got a controlled expansion for when it pushes through that animal. It's not going to have rapid expansion, and you're not going to get as much penetration. Even shooting an animal with something as big as a 30-06 or a 300, if you don't have 300 Magnum, if you don't have the right ammo, you could make a shot and you could only get that one shot. And then if you don't get, the knockdown, the penetration, you don't put a good lethal shot on there. Either one, you could lose that animal, or you could have a severe tracking job that could lead you a long way away, a pack out, what have you. So, you put all this attention into what, a lot of us do, what rifle, what optic you got on top of that rifle with the scope. Pay attention to your ammo. All summer long, practice with the cheapest stuff you can find. And then in the last month or two, really start fine-tuning your firearm to what ammo you're going to hunt with, and make sure you got something with a good ballistic coefficient. Tyler says, excited for deer season this year. Tyler, we are too, man. We look forward to having you down here. And we were just actually, our group was talking about you the other day. We look forward to you coming down and hunting with us, man. It's going to be a good deal for us. So thank you for tuning in, man. Good questions, Mike. Thank you so much for asking. Anybody else got any questions? Like I said, we're looking forward to all these seasons. You can keep up with us. Mike says 100 grain broadheads. Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. For elk, I like 125s. It really depends on your arrow setup and it depends on your bow, what you're shooting. Are you shooting crossbow or are you shooting compound? What's your arrow weight? There's 100 grain broadheads that work. 125s, work better. Heck, you get up to 145s or 160s. Those work even better. You want to throw something, like I said, in our minds, we want small pin gaps, speed. And the thing you have to remember on something, especially like a bull elk, speed is great, but you're giving up arrow weight. And when you give up arrow weight, when you hit that animal, it doesn't matter if you hit him, it doesn't matter if you hit him with a 600 feet per second arrow, which is not feasible. It doesn't matter if you hit him with 600 feet a second. If you don't have the kinetic energy out of a heavy enough arrow, you're not going to get the penetration. So you want to make sure that you are going to get it's a give and take. If you shoot a heavier arrow, you're going to lose speed. Your pin gap is going to widen on your bow, or whatever it may be. Even if we're talking about a crossbow, and it looks like your Wicked Ridge RDX 400 reverse draw. Even with a crossbow, you still have to know where to hold at what yardage. And I would much rather fine-tune my bow to a heavier arrow. And when I get that shot of a lifetime, instead of shooting, 375 feet a second, I may only be shooting 325, or I may be shooting 300, but I'm throwing a log at him that when it hits him, I'm going to get some damage and penetration. So, the way the new age of bows and everything, it has left me. I know enough to be dangerous, but, you have to make sure that what you're throwing at these things are enough to get the penetration you need to get into the vitals, because you unlung these things, and you can ask our good friend Bob Hunt and myself, as we hunted after the same bull we called a T-Rex for years. Bob had a hunter that shot that bull, and when they shot that bull, that interlock broadhead went in with a crossbow, caught that shoulder blade. He tried to tuck it. Shot placement, and we're getting ready. I'm so glad that our buddy Justin said this right here. But that interlock broadhead went in and caught that shoulder blade, broke that interlock blade, turned that broadhead, and it followed that shoulder blade up into one lung. They brought a dog in. They tracked that thing for 2 or 3 days, and he was gone. The bull of a lifetime. 2 weeks later, we killed him. It took 3 shots from a .338 to bring him down, and he was chasing a cow and a smaller bull and giving that old T-Rex bugle, and that was shot in one lung with a crossbow bolt 2 weeks prior, and I have the crossbow bolt. Matter of fact, next week I'll try to find that, and I'll have that on the show. Shot placement is most important with a bow, a gun, or anything. Everyone really needs to study vitals at all angles. That's another good point. Shot placement is everything. People and sometimes even on deer, but your margin of error with a deer, because you're dealing with an animal with thinner skin and things, but even with a deer, you want to be as ethical as you possibly can be on any animal, and you want to wait for that right shot, because it is too easy not to pull the trigger. So if you've got an animal, especially an elk, that's a tank. You hear pound for pound all the time, in the fighting world, pound for pound, the best fighter, or the, whatever. Pound for pound, elk, I think, is the toughest animal in North America. If you've got an animal that's slightly quartering to you and his vitals are not there, you don't need to shoot, especially with the bow. You got this front angled shot. I mean, there's a small percentage of people. You can ask 10 people on a straight forward facing elk where to shoot him at, and 7 out of 10 people will pick the wrong spot. These animals have huge vitals. They have bigger vitals, but they also have more room to miss those vitals. So like Justin said here, study those angles, look online, see where they're at, and know if you've got an elk broadside, even at a broadside shot, slightly quartering away, quartering to, which is a horrible shot and you shouldn't shoot anyway, I don't think, with archery. Forward facing, what are you going to do? Study that before you get out there, and it's going to help you, because when you get out there and the heart's thumping and that adrenaline's going, you've put in days and days and days. I tell all of our hunters, you may hunt minutes, hours, or days for 30 seconds of opportunity. And what are you going to do in that 30 seconds of opportunity? It can be the difference between success and heartbreak. So thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Good stuff, guys. What else we got? We've even seen guns. We were talking about the shot placement, and we was talking about that bull that got hit in the, just barely, one blade caught just the edge of that shoulder blade. It turned that broadhead sideways, broke the shaft, turned that broadhead, and it went up in the lung. We always tell our archery hunters, don't try to tuck the arrow on a broad-sided elk. Try to imagine, 3 ribs, come back 3 or 4 ribs. People want to talk about the bottom, the bottom third. They want to third them out. Everybody's worried about that a heart shot. Man, I'd rather double lung that joker, take his radiator out. He's not going to go far. He'll go farther than deer and wire. He's still pretty tough double lung. But you take both of those lungs out, he's not going to go very far. If you take one lung out, you're in for some stuff, whether that's a heartbreak or you're in for a long day, night, or days. So make sure, don't try to tuck it right close to that shoulder. Find that crease, come back 3 or 4 ribs, and I tell everybody, center mass. Them big old lungs are way bigger on an elk. And, you don't want to play around, especially if you're talking about longer range, 40, 50, 60 yards. You want to make sure that you stay away from that shoulder blade, come back just a little bit, and make sure and aim small, miss small is really big. When we talked a little bit about shooting your rifle and shooting those rifles on the shooting sticks and whatever else. When you get out there with your archery equipment and you get that bow, that crossbow fine-tuned where you want it, stop shooting at a bullseye. Start shooting at a hare, or start shooting at a smaller dot. Start shooting at things. Really visualize where you want that arrow to fly, not just a color, not just a round circle that may be the size of a tennis ball or whatever. Really hone in on those smaller dots once you get focused in. Gator Paul says, I have let them walk, then take a maybe shot with anything. That's right, Gator Paul. You can come back and hunt that animal. But if you shoot and wound that animal, especially, on a shot like that, one, the hunt's over. Two, you've probably ruined that animal. You've probably killed that animal, but it's going to be an animal that you cannot recover most of the time. Thanks for tuning in, brother. We're talking about deer. We're talking about archery. We're talking about elk. We're talking about dove. We're talking about squirrels. We're talking about shot placement. And I know, man, you're a great archer, so just jump in here with anything. We appreciate you tuning in. Tim, thanks, brother. Yeah. And listen, if anybody disagrees with anything like that, just let us know. Our very own Nathan Darrell says, need to get used to your equipment and feel comfortable with the shot. That's right, man. If you want to see something funny, go to your local Walmart, and it's really not funny. Go to your local Walmart a day or two before deer season and just people watch. Go to the sport and see how many people are getting guns, buying whatever. That is not the time. That is not the time. You need to be shooting your gun, whether it's archery, whether, even down to shotguns. Everybody thinks that they're a prize shotgun shot. I tell you what, if you've not ever tried it, go out to the dove fields and see how good of a shotgun shot is if you've not really done it or whatever else. But you need to get comfortable with your equipment. You need to know your firearm inside and out. I don't care how many years you've shot it or you've got ready for deer season or whatever it is. You need to make sure you know where that thing's hitting at. Where are you going to be zeroed at? Do you have a ballistic chart? Every firearm I have, before I go to the woods, I know my ballistic chart in and out with every caliber. I know at every yard, at every significant yardage point where I'm going to be at. I don't know what kind of range you got around you. I don't know what kind of shooting atmosphere you have for archery or gun, but you need to shoot that thing. When you're playing for a hunt like an elk hunt, you can't put enough time. And the more time you put in now is the more apt you are to be successful when that time comes. Tim Fannin says 100% on getting to know your equipment. So good stuff, guys. Thank you all very much. So we've got, like I've mentioned, for those tuning in, we've got August 1st coming up is the curtilage law is going to be lifted. You can start baiting on August the 1st. So hopefully everybody's had their mineral out and got that out and had that out for a long time for the deer and everything. And it's time to start. If you've not started yet, it's time to start taking inventory of your spots and seeing what you got. Coming up, September the 7th is open archery. If you've got a hit list or you got a target buck, that early velvet season is a good time. If you can find him, you can keep him in that area. You can put some bait out, get some cameras out. You can really pattern deer, and it's a good time to really trophy hunt. If you've never velvet hunted before, Kentucky's one of the few states where you can get a velvet buck. So you need to be out there definitely looking for them and scouting. What else we got, guys? Gals? Appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, some events coming up. August 24th is Hunt the 606 Expo in Pikeville. You need to be at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. Be down there. You can check it out on TLC Outfitters, and you can see all the information. We have the state NWTF Turkey Calling Championship is going to be right there. A lot of vendors. If you're interested in being a vendor, very few spots left. You've seen Cameron Hamilton on here. You can check that out. If you can't get up or you don't know who to get up with, you can always get up with us right here on our Facebook page. We'll get you in touch with those guys to be able to get you in there. But make your plans August the 24th to be at Pikeville, Kentucky for the Hunt the 606 Expo. It's going to be awesome at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. I believe it starts at 9 o'clock. Brandon Knight's going to be hunting with us. Said just got finished shooting some arrows and time to tune in. Appreciate it, man. And I seen that word tune there, tune in, and that made me think of something else. Make sure that your bow, your bow and arrow is tuned. Now, almost anybody shooting archery is going to know what I'm talking about. But you need to paper tune your bow, and you will be more accurate. You will get better penetration. And, you know, if you're shooting a fixed blade broadhead, as most of y'all already know, you can shoot field points all day long. But that arrow flight is going to be much different, even though you're shooting the same grains. That arrow flight is going to be much different with a fixed blade broadhead. You got to tune that into your fletchings. There's a whole bunch of things. Y'all already probably know that, but it goes without saying. So, way to go, Brandon. Glad you're practicing, man. Looking forward to hunting with you, brother. Thank you. Also, don't forget, coming up August 17th, the weekend before, that is opening weekend of squirrel season, and they'll be having the youth squirrel hunt camp out right here at Dewey Lake. And we can get you all the information about that if you're interested in that. Doesn't matter where you're from. Come down, bring the camping equipment, whatever you may do. Plenty of opportunities on a 9,000-acre wildlife management area right here on the lake. So it's a good time. Our buddy Joe Bolton that is going on to better places. He left a few years ago, but he started that, and it was really big for him. So if you get a chance, come on down to Eastern Kentucky and join us for the youth squirrel hunt camp out. That'll be starting August the 16th. Squirrel season starts August the 17th. Here's another good one. Tim says, be sure to practice tree stand safety as well. Man, there is no reason. If Matt was on here, he would tell you the same thing. Matt had an incident with a tree stand a few years ago. I say a few years ago. It's been quite a few years ago, and very blessed to be able to have no more than it. But it done a number on him. Harnesses. And even the safety ropes now, where you tie in before your feet ever leave the ground. There's no reason, folks. There's no all that stuff. Every tree stand now comes with a safety harness. If you're looking for a better harness, you can buy one of those, the vest type, with a quick connects, disconnects. And then the ropes are not that much. The safety ropes from the bottom. You can tie right in before you even step foot on a ladder or you leave the ground. So make sure that you're practicing tree stand safety. How horrible would it be to go out? You've looked forward to hunting season for all year. You've got away with all this tree climbing in a tree stand, this climbing and hunting and whatever for all these years. How awful would it be to have your season, your hunt, your season, or even the rest of your life ruined because you thought it'd be cool, or you thought you were too cool, or you thought whatever against a safety vest, safety harness, and a safety line, whatever. I'm telling you, you need to make sure you use them. Thanks, Tim. That was a big one, man. All right, guys and gals, that's all I've got for tonight. I appreciate y'all tuning in very much. Stay tuned to our Facebook page. Hope to see you next month. we'll be pushing this right up to the time. Hunt the 606 Expo, Pikeville, Kentucky, Appalachian Wireless Arena. That's going to be August the 24th. Youth Squirrel Hunt Camp Out, August the 16th. Opening day of squirrel season, August 17th. Don't forget opening day of dove season, September the 1st. Archery deer, September the 7th. And then the long-awaited archery elk season right around the corner, folks. We appreciate you all tuning in. Remember, if you know the creator, look at the creation. Man, there's all kinds of wonderful things out there to enjoy. Hey, while you're out there scouting, I have to say this. We've seen a pretty good increase. I don't know if you all have or not. We've seen a pretty good increase in some venomous snakes. Just this week, we've seen some copperheads and rattlesnakes. So make sure you're watching your feet. And as the old saying goes, don't go looking for trouble and hopefully you won't find it. But even at that, you know, you have to accept nature on nature's terms. So when y'all are out there doing your scouting, just watch, stay safe. That's the most important thing. Tune back here next week, next Tuesday. Join us right here on air and outdoors with TLC Outfitters. Y'all have a good one.
Eastern Kentucky, where I was raised, where the wildlife and mountains call my name. I was born to hunt, I was born to guide, a camouflage on a rifle by my side. Just good old country boys chasing dreams in the Appalachian Mountains, fields and streams. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks they're on the run. Where those dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name.